Pearl Roadshow. Is this the best budget drum kit for beginners? Let's put it to the test, Steven. But first, let's warp back in time so I can show you how to set everything up. Since most of the drummers buying this kit, this is probably your first drum kit, so congratulations. Ooh, here's the first tom. Check out that slick jet black finish. Oh, bass drum pedal. Floor tom comes shipped inside of the bass drum, so let's get that out of here. Here we can see the insides of the shells, which are 6 plies of poplar. And yes, poplar is a pretty inexpensive wood, and that's because the goal with this drum kit was to keep it as affordable as possible for beginners. Okay, so here's the hardware, here's the drums. Perhaps we will start with the bass drum. We got 2 hoops and a bag of goodies. Flip it over. Check where the Pearl logo is, and we want the resonant head with the hole in it on the opposite side. Put that on nice and straight, then place a hoop over that. Now to the bag of goodies. Take 1 wingy thingy and 1 tension rod, slide the rod into the wing, then place the wing rod onto the hoop so it can be tightened to the drum lugs. Repeat this process by spinning the drum around and attaching these to every lug, and when you're done, it'll look like this. Next, you can take your drum key and tighten each lug, but not too much, just a little bit for now. Flip the drum over, and we can do the same thing on the other side. And while we're setting up, I'm gonna tell you guys about Guitar Center, the sponsor of this video. Well, I assume most of you know what Guitar Center is, unless you've been living under a rock, but if you didn't know, they have all of the best music gear, including the Roadshow. The best part is, you don't have to just order online. They have hundreds of store locations, so you can go to your local one and try one of these kits out for yourself. But if you do prefer to order online, they also have quite the selection of used and vintage gear on their website if you'd like to save even more on one of these kits. Or there's also the Roadshow Junior version for the little youngsters. That one's only $400. Either way, I will put the links in the description for you. Go check it out, and thank you so much, Guitar Center, for sponsoring this video. For tuning, tap near each lug to hear the pitch and try to get them all relatively close to each other. If you have a small pillow, I recommend sticking this inside the bass drum to dampen the sound just a tiny bit. Give it a little smack test. Yep, that sounds like a bass drum. Next, we want to extend the legs to make sure the drum doesn't move around while we're playing it. And don't forget the carpet spikes either. Those are very helpful for sliding. Try to match the height of both legs and angle it to where the front of the hoop is just a little bit off the ground, as shown here. Floor tom. First, we gotta remove the 2 tension rods that were holding it together for shipping. Now we can take the plastic off. Find that Pearl logo. Now let's turn it upside down, do the bottom head first, and the head with no logo on it is gonna be our bottom head. So first the head, then the hoop, then stick in all the tension rods. We won't need the wingy thingies for this one. Tune it up with the key and flip that pancake. Once the other side is done, we can screw in the floor tom legs, and I think now we can start putting it together. Bless! This is where the toms go onto this little bracket that sits on top of the bass drum. So take your tom arms and slide them on in. Oh, You can see the toms have their own brackets, so just slide those onto the arms, tighten it down, and you're good to go. Tom number 2. The seat. Extend the tripod base, give it the extender, pop it on, tighten it, bam. King of the castle. The bass drum pedal is pretty easy. Just loosen the hoop clamp, slide it onto the hoop, tighten it down, slide in the beater, and make sure it's gonna hit the drum as close to the center as possible. For the snare stand, open the tripod base, slide in the basket to set your height. You can also set your angle, then open the basket, place your snare, then tighten the basket. Whew, we're getting there, you guys. Let's do the hi-hat next. First, you wanna find this silver bar under the pedal, squeeze it together a little bit so you can get the notches into the grooves on the sides, and this will stabilize the body. Open that tripod base, then take the top half of the stand and take the middle rod out, screw it into this little groove that you can see on the top of the bottom half. Take the top tube and slide it over the rod now, then tighten it onto the stand to set your height. Place the bottom hi-hat cymbal on the top of this felt washer, and for the top cymbal, you want to separate this clutch piece so there's a felt on each side, then screw the top cymbal in between the felts, so you want to have a little sandwich here. Finally, loosen the clutch, lower the foot pedal, and then tighten it when you reach your desired height. Easy, right? Let's bring back the floor tom over here. And lastly, we can't forget the cymbal stand. Open that tripod, slide in the top half, set your height, and tighten it down. Unscrew the top, place the cymbal right in between the 2 felts, make that sandwich, and boom, here we are. The Pearl Roadshow in all its glory comes with everything you need to get started playing the drums. But of course, if you know me by now, let's add just a couple more cymbals, because why not? Now that's what I'm talking about. Added 2 more crashes, a splash, and a choina. And one more thing, I'm gonna swap out the kick pedal for a double. Gonna use the P922, which is one of the more affordable double pedals. So let's get everything mic'd up and see how it sounds. Nice. And also, last time I did one of these videos, I saw some comments asking, you know, what would the acoustic kit sound like just in the room without being properly mixed? So let's do a little audio comparison for that. You like? But for the real test, how does it sound in a mix? Let's get a little funky. That was pretty sexy. How about some jazz? Right on, man. Sorry I'm not very good with jazz, but hey, it's still fun. And last but not least, let's play some metal. Holy shit! Let's go. The Pearl Roadshow, perfect for beginners. And if you enjoyed this video, please consider hitting that subscribe button. If we get to 1 million subscribers, I will send everyone a free jar of